official YouTube channel. I'm Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle. I've been known by quite a few names, depending which community you knew me in, but still the same person nonetheless. Has to do with that head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 thing. So, I've discussed quite a few things in reference to my biological sister, Patricia Ann Miller, or Hom Miller. And one thing that I guess I should have remembered, but then there goes that head injury issue from Palm Sunday in 2000. My biological sister had this thing. She enjoyed pitting people against one another. She would do this just for her amusement. I bring this up because I spoke with someone in Washington State who had pretty much informed me that what's going on in Seattle that's been reported is also going on in Tacoma, which I would guesstimate it's going on in other areas as well. Maybe not as predominantly well known. Maybe not as much news coverage for whatever the particular aspects are. And so, my biological sister had been infuriated when she saw my house in Carrollton, Texas. She could not believe, and her words were, "How are you, looking like you, able to purchase a house that looks like this?" I let her know I paid for it. I designed the interior myself because the colors and all that sort of stuff, I did. And she was not happy about that. Now, before my biological sister, my biological mother, and my biological father moved to the state of Texas, Patricia Ann Hom Miller, before she was that, would technically be Patricia Ann Hom, had done that in New Jersey. The actual reason that my biological parents actually, they claimed that it was because it was to get me away from joining the military. They knew I was going to do it. They did not want to acknowledge it. They kept saying it was just a phase. But they also, for very few individuals, had acknowledged that my biological sister, Patricia Ann Hom, had pissed off a lot of people on the East Coast. In New Jersey, she upset some families. Because of her attitude. She ran her mouth about technically both of our Bungong and Bakpu, which is great-grandmother and great-grandfather. Great-grandmother is Bakpu, great-grandfather is Bungong. She ran her mouth to various individuals in New Jersey when she was told to keep her mouth shut about that in the East Coast area. She had chosen to purposefully set some of her own friends up for failure, reminding them about that because of her actually looking Chinese in comparison to me. And where I didn't bring that up, not because I was ashamed, because I was told to keep my mouth shut. Those who know that sort of stuff understand why I kept my mouth shut. Not just because I was afraid of the consequences if I had opened my mouth. I mean, I was already getting in enough trouble as it was as a child. However, if I had ran my mouth in New Jersey about my great-grandfather in specific, yeah, no, I was already getting beat for a lot of stuff that wasn't even my fault. I was not about to actually do anything that would get me in trouble legitimately for stuff that would have been my fault. I was already being beaten enough. Didn't need any more. So, in Asher Holmes Elementary School, my biological sister, Patricia Ann Hall, had been the complete opposite of a student in comparison to me. So for those in the Austin Mentors program, the Austin Dominant Mentors program and the Dallas Dominant Mentors program, who know how serious I took my work and my studies and getting that taken care of, complete opposite. Complete opposite. While I was accused of starting stuff back then, and then, it was proven that I didn't. If it was from an outside source and nobody could figure it out, I would guesstimate my biological sister, because of her and Anna, my biological mother, doing the techie stuff. And because of the way my biological sister was in New Jersey, I'm not saying that my ex-sisters-in-law didn't have something to do with that. I do not, I would not hold that as at all. I would not. However, my biological sister, not just in New Jersey, did that. So we had to move from New Jersey to Illinois when I was a junior in high school. So for those who know the math, my biological sister is 4 years younger than me. She had pissed off so many people just in Asher Holmes Elementary School that she was scared to go to Marlboro Middle School, because Asher Holmes and Robertsville Elementary Schools, same complex, parking lot. She had done a lot of stuff to upset people in the wrong way. For those who know my biological father and how my biological father had to pay off the debts for his biological father, because his biological father messed stuff up, as well as his sister, my Aunt Linda, messing stuff up. Look at my biological sister. I would guesstimate you could find a lot of similarities between my biological father's sister, my Aunt Linda, and my biological father's father, who would be my Ugga. How he had done certain things. Combine that in one, and my biological sister, Patricia Ann Hall. So we had to move from New Jersey to Illinois, though the claim that I was told was because of that aspect. My biological sister was scared to go to middle school because of the people that she messed with, because of the families that she helped piss off. She did that in Old Tennant Presbyterian Church as well. By a lot. She's very much so. Very much so. So, for example, the stuff that I discussed as far as like Jennifer White and some of the other females, combine all that, and that's just my biological sister on a good mood day for when she would do stuff. Because she thought she was hard, but she never had the same background as far as growing up. Similarly to, oh, I want this, she got it. She didn't actually have to work for anything. She got a car. She never had to get a job. I had to pay for my first car. Well, the one that I could drive. the 86 Dodge Grand Caravan, I had to pay $800 in cash for that van. I had no choice to actually get a car that I wanted at the time. I also had to pay insurance on that car, and when the head gasket blew 3 different times, I had to pay for that as well. Gave my biological mother and father cash because I had to pay for it. My biological sister was given a car. They paid her insurance. They paid for anything and everything she wanted. Mike actually looked at getting into making point shoes just so that he didn't have to have that bill, because those who know what point shoes cost for a professional ballet dancer and how often those have to be replaced understands why Mike was looking at just doing it himself. And he had the time and he could do it. However, by that time, she was in the state of Texas, and she was messing with her dance teacher who was married. So, before I get to that point, okay, my biological sister, when we got to Illinois, okay, I had issues with certain individuals. I don't deny that at all. I haven't. My biological sister did not learn from when in New Jersey to just keep her mouth shut. So, because she actually looks Chinese, or she looks Filipino, realistically, in comparison to Chinese, nonetheless, you can tell. Unlike with me, you actually have to kind of like stare and kind of, in comparison, especially skin tone, just the skin tone. Not forgetting like my eyes, and I don't have makeup on, so you know there is that. You see how? Just saying. And so, well, I have lipstick on. I don't have eye makeup on. There's a difference. Nonetheless, Patricia was considered, you know, a hot item in Illinois. She wasn't like looked down upon, unlike me. And she flaunted certain things, unlike me. Again, I'm very demure in comparison to my biological sister by a lot. I may have all the tattoos that I do, and my hairstyle and my hair color, and I do mouth off if I like feel the need to. My biological sister wouldn't mouth off. She'd go behind everybody's back instead. So there's another dichotomy of complete opposites. Those who have had interactions with me, if I don't go behind people's back, despite certain things that were accused in that regard. I've said it straight on, face to face, right? Despite this YouTube thing at this point. But before I wound up in Washington State, face to face, right? There are plenty of people. Ugh, Lady Dori Belle, why did... But see, that's the thing. I didn't do stuff on... I mean, I did stuff online. But the way I am online is... You see, those who know. So, I am more modest online. I don't deny that either, though. And so, I'm actually more brash in person in a lot more ways. But that's because I don't feel the need to hide behind a techie device. It's one of those, if we have an issue, I'd rather us discuss it because of that barrier that comes up with the techie stuff. I know that's not necessarily the most conventional way in various regards. However, that's just how I've been. I prefer not going fisticuffs. I know what I can do. However, I prefer to actually settle things and be able to actually move forward instead of the back and forth sort of stuff. So, if, hypothetically, my biological sister, because of the fact that my biological mother did all of the techie updates, My biological mother, as soon as she came over wherever I was living, the first thing she grabbed was whatever technology device. So whatever laptop I had, my cell phone, so on and so forth, that was my biological mother. Those who have had discussions with me in person, no matter how heated they may or may not have gotten, depending on what was discussed, there is that aspect that those who have had those discussions with me, despite not necessarily being the most comfortable, at least blunt to the point and honest, right? That's me, not my biological sister. My biological sister, Patricia Ann Hom Miller now, she preferred going the back route. She preferred being sneaky. She preferred hiding things because she thought that she could get away with it because she looks Asian, she looks normal, that whole thing. Whereas I'm just me. I don't pretend to be anybody I'm not because, well, I can't tell a lie. And now, there's that head injury stuff. So I just can't not be anybody but me. Whereas my biological sister, on the other hand, has been doing that since she was very, very young. And as many times as I got in trouble, I've done prior official videos on my YouTube channel. That didn't change when they moved from Illinois to the state of Texas. My biological mother and biological father said that they were moving to Texas to help me with my son and my daughter. Obviously, actions speak louder than words. They obviously did not do that. However, my biological sister and what she did when she was in, and who she did when in Illinois, I would guesstimate there's plenty of people who would be able to discuss certain specifics in that regard very easily by a lot, pun intended, by numbers. And so, for an example, aside from my now dead ex-husband and my biological sister having done stuff together when going up to Illinois both times, and then after she moved to the state of Texas, which my now dead ex-husband, before he died, he admitted that he did all that. And the amount of medications he was on at the time, despite him lying and stealing valor, in certain regards, if you're really thinking about it, in certain references of a truth serum, in that regard. And so, not only that, within the first week of her starting high school at McHenry High School in San Antonio, Texas, already discussed that phone call I had with the mom of one of the two males that she had, my biological sister, me, having a threesome in our parents' bed in San Antonio within the first week of school. Do you see a pattern of behavior? And then her throwing a fit because she got caught. And unlike Mike and unlike Anna, I didn't back down. She couldn't just blink her eyes, and I'm sure there are some individuals who would recognize her blinking her eyes, tilting her head to the side, wiping one or two tears, and a little, and that's it. And then, because she is far more girly than I am, knows how to turn on. I don't like to cry. I don't even like acknowledging that I cry. Like that's the thing that, not my biological sister, Patricia Ann Hom, one of those females that knows how to make herself cry on cue. I would guesstimate Zach wound up finding that out. Whether or not he picked up on that pattern of behavior, yeah, on cue could, just like Anna. biological mother. And knew how to play on someone's heartstrings. But unlike, just for fun. It was just for fun for them. It wasn't like, I mean, I don't play on anybody's heartstrings. That's just not the type of person I am. If I discuss certain things, you know, I'm letting you know the truth. Whereas my biological sister and biological mother, you know, oh, feel bad. And probably there are people who would know, you know, because of them saying, don't you feel bad for me? Don't you feel bad? Like, look at how sad and all that sort of stuff. This basically the exact opposite of how I am. In every way. The exact opposite. In so many ways. And because she didn't approve of the fact that I was able to make friends, because they weren't her friends, she was that type of female that liked to control people. Remember, her favorite toys were porcelain dolls that she could dress up and parade in whichever way she wanted. She didn't ever try to find any way to do anything better or assist with anything. She liked creating drama and problems instead of, you know, anything except that. I mean, again, the complete opposite of how I am. So, if there were hypothetically any issues that were, well, who started this? I had to list off, in order, issues. That'd be my biological sister and my biological mother, as well as my ex-sister-in-law, Susie Marie Nichols Lopez, but more so my other ex-sister-in-law, Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen. Because Susie Marie Nichols Lopez did have stuff that she was dealing with, whereas Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen would have probably gotten along quite well with my biological sister by a lot. And so, in reference to, not just that, but the aspects of, my biological sister did not approve, not like it was her choice, of me being involved with the lifestyle. I've explained what her reaction was to seeing just one drawer, not even my corsets. So, if there was a bunch of stuff, I'd recommend you checking her out and seeing what she did. And since I sent all of the first books I wrote, all 8 of them, to my biological father, I have a feeling my biological mother went over to Patricia, specifically her husband, and their family, gave them all the books, and Patricia decided to go the way she did. Not like she didn't already know beforehand, though. And then, don't forget Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., and his little sister, Rachel Kuykendall. And she looked up to Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., like most little sisters do. So, not only those aspects as far as my biological sister is concerned, she would have taken advantage, most likely, of individuals that Zach's family knew. would have easily done that because of how she was. I could be wrong on that, but I would not be surprised. And the fact that my biological mother got involved with the Red Hat Society but refused to acknowledge my existence, there's another aspect in that regard. So I am the complete opposite of my biological mother and my biological sister. There are certain similarities as far as how my biological father is, because I was around him a lot more. And so there's other aspects in that regard. Nonetheless, if people didn't know where certain things had started up, Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen was involved in the lifestyle when I first met her and her husband, David, in 2001. Susie Marie Nichols Lopez, she didn't get into the lifestyle until about 2010. But I was able to speak with Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen about that. My biological sister and biological mother, I've already discussed the aspects of the techie stuff and all that sort of aspects. So we got that. And then Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., well, I wasn't ever anywhere with him in the lifestyle. However, he did use my laptop before. And it wasn't until after getting rid of him and taking him back to San Antonio that I had to go to Best Buy, I think, to return a laptop for wherever the Geek Squad first time to take in a laptop. It's probably when, shortly after getting rid of Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr. So, I guesstimate that there are plenty that have figured that out by now. But, there you go. And as far as different aspects in the lifestyle, yeah, take a look at my biological sister's prior patterns of behavior, and you could see how easily and quickly she would get hooked on causing problems just because of you knowing me. And because of you, if you and I got along, that was an even bigger problem for her. Most likely. Because anytime she didn't get attention, she was one of those types of females. Not that she actually earned certain things, but that is what it is. But yeah, she had a very big, very, very big problem with the fact that I had my house in Carrollton, Texas. And what I did to it. She did not believe that somebody that looks like me and has my issues and stuff like that deserved to be able to buy my own property. And again, was embarrassed of the fact that I was in the state of Texas. Then again, I was in the state of Texas first, which was a whole other issue because, you know, she couldn't set the tone. I mean, eventually she essentially did, you know, after hypothetically getting involved with certain things the way she shouldn't have. Nonetheless, my biological sister had a knack for doing that in New Jersey and Illinois well before she got to the state of Texas. She absolutely despised the fact, again, I've brought it up before, in regards to people in Austin. There was, I don't remember the people's names specifically, but there were events in Austin where I was asked if I had a sister in San Marcos University, and then shortly after I got a phone call, how dare you tell people that we're related? Because she got called out for lying and saying that she was an only child. So if there are individuals in the state of Texas that need to know which way to point their anger at, pun intended, there's some. And then, you know, my ex-sisters-in-law discussed plenty in that regard, along with Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., and then his little sister, Rachel Kuykendall. She was the one who was married to the Marine who Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., had gotten that K-bar for. After, you know, she got pregnant and all that sort of stuff, and whereas Jeremy Kuykendall, he did go into the Army as an officer. What he chose to do, if he told the truth or not about the prior arrest, I don't know. As far as the 151 Road Warrior thing. But Rachel Kuykendall, their little sister, is so proud of her older brothers for planning that Fiesta San Antonio, Texas thing. Wanted to be just like her oldest brother, Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr. So, and Patricia and Anna, my biological sister and biological mother, well, they also preferred Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., just like they did my now dead ex-husband when he was alive, over me. So, if that's of any importance, there are a few examples on top of the prior ones. So, you know, you guys have a good one. Hopefully that helps.